Ladies and gentlemen, this is Frank Donga. You are already listening to Boom Radio. Just leave the dial there. Settle down. Listen to it. Open your ear. Don't touch it now. Boom Radio. Live and direct. Frank Donga in the building.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the BoomBar right here on your Boom Radio NG. And my name is Dolupo, you know, the one and only. So, I bid you a warm welcome to the bar this very, very interesting afternoon. So, we're going to be talking about a few things today, and it's quite imperative. The president has something to say about his what's the word now? About his fall. Apparently, he seems to be one of the few presidents that would I say have something to say. Actually, most of the time we just gloss over it and we move on from the gist. But he definitely had something to say about it. There are a few other gist here and there that we're going to be talking about as well as time goes on, as time permits us. So please sit down and enjoy today's show. So of course, I'm not in the studio alone today. I'm in the studio with Shala Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is indeed what she said I am, and it's always a pleasure to be at the bar. A big shout out to everybody that's watching and listening at the moment. Okay. Welcome.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about a few things like I had said earlier. First things first. The president decided to announce to y'all that democracy is worth falling for. Okay, now I know what the problem is. I did not bring my glasses because there are a lot of things I cannot see well. So, pardon me if I
if you dobale.
No, if I do not say some things at times.
If you don't have plans to dobale, then please, you are not pardoned in advance.
Anyway, just putting it out there, just in case. So basically, President shrugged off his sleep yesterday. I would also like to commend the person of the Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi. And I think that, and it's something that we say here a lot, when someone does nicely, you actually acknowledge it. And I saw his message to the president about it. Honestly, I don't know why we're having why there's a conversation around it though, personally, my opinion. But I felt that it was his statement sounded a bit more humane than the statement of Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar's statement, in my opinion, sounded a bit sarcastic. And Peter Obi's statement was going on about how anybody can actually fall. And since yesterday, we've been seeing videos of several presidents.
And non-presidents.
And not presidents. And almost presidents and vice presidents falling. And you know, you know what that brought to me is basically, what that taught me is basically, it's just, if you don't want people to see your fall, don't be popular. Because the honest truth is that we all fall.
Yeah. Everybody falls if you take it from that angle. But again, we have already discussed this anyway, but it looks like it's not going away. So let's look at it more. For instance, I'm not sure it's a good idea that he's riding in the back of that truck with an agbada.
Yeah,
that was not the easiest thing
to
climb the back of the truck.
Stuff around. Yes,
people have said, "Oh, it's medically this and that." Okay, we get it, but your younger people are falling too, even without the agbada. But now, like, you're going to ride in that truck, and again, shouldn't they have had some kind of physical support for the president when he was getting into that truck? I'm thinking, like, I watched that video, I'm like, okay, shouldn't there be someone in front of him? You don't understand? Like, okay.
They probably rehearsed it and it was fine.
Okay.
Or he rehearsed it and he didn't have an agbada on.
Help the man, Sha, in a way, because I just feel like maybe one or two or three things could have happened. Watching the broadcast, it was the relayed one, or the downloaded videos, or God knows where. There were other angles where you see that the TV station that was carrying it at that time actually quickly tried to, bring up, those colorful bars that we used to see way back when, before TV would start. They tried to cover it and everything. I get that,
He fell. We saw that he fell.
And I think it was a big fall. People say he slipped and all of that.
Yeah, I think he
it's
actually
English
did fall.
and all of that.
Yes, I think.
Well, I respect the fact that he was fit enough to continue.
Yeah,
that event
I think
yesterday.
that would have been the issue if he didn't continue.
And I already said it. Look, as a politician, you could adopt whatever stance, but the idea is that you jump on every trend so that you stay relevant until the next elections. Mm-hmm. That's just the playbook that Atiku and Obi have adopted. People used to call Jimmy Agbaje out. He was not serious. He only appears every 4 years, like the Olympics.
This is how you stay relevant.
Or the Nigerian football calculator.
Oh, wow.
Every 4 years, that's when that one shows up. The calculator, not the Eagles.
Anyway.
So, Atiku played politics straight up. Like, make I throw small jabs at this man. The funny thing is, it's Tinubu's junior officers that actually took Atiku on. They started bringing out pictures of him in crutches and different positions and stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's all politics at the end of the day. And I think the smartest of them, then even Showore also jumped on it and it made a big, mess of it. Like, oh, you know what, you fell. You should have yapped him. Showore poked a lot of fun at him and all of that. And but Peter Obi was the smartest of them all, saying that anybody could fall, because it didn't take them 30 minutes to bring out a picture of him at an event where he slipped also and almost fell. That's Peter Obi himself. I think he was walking to the podium or something and all of that. And I'm like, yeah, trust Nigerians. Already showed about 5 videos of Joe Biden falling, Obama at 47 falling.
They say that
we get all of that.
Internet never forgets. The truth that the daddy fell, that's the
cool. Yeah, but at the end of the day, again, I was waiting for how President Tinubu was going to play it, how he was going to spin it, and I think he spun it well, like made fun of it. As a proper Yoruba boy, he said, I quote but paraphrase, that of course he had to respect democracy and dobale, and it was a full dobale and everything, you know. And at the back of my I'm like, that thing campaign.
No. Hey, you fall in public.
That thing campaign.
It's more about the
The
embarrassment than the fall itself.
I started picturing 1 or 2 falls that I've had myself. I'm like,
in public.
This is not nice at all.
And it's when you're in public that you actually pour. It's not follow, you pour.
Then, I don't know if we're wrapping it up, but in conclusion for me, as much as we want to play politics with a lot of things, please do not poke fun at people when they have this kind of situations. Just please avoid it. It's just a word of advice.
Okay, now moving on from that quickly, let's go quickly to still talking about the president and a few of the statements that he made yesterday. So he made a statement. Part of his statements that he made yesterday was that, minimum wage is definitely one of the conversations. Yeah, that everybody's waiting with bated breath about. Now, he has now said that first things first, he had talked about, which I think we talked about it here, that he will soon send the minimum wage bill to the House of Assembly. However, he now said, and I quote, that he would only sign a minimum wage that Nigeria can afford.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, you dropped it already?
Yeah, I just wanted to do that there first.
Okay, so a minimum wage that Nigeria can afford is very, very vague.
Very vague.
Very, very vague and very, very relative, depending on who's saying it. No, it's coming from the president. And, for me, I am like, we saw this one coming. I have a feeling that it will not be the 250 that Labour is insisting on, 250,000 naira minimum wage.
Obviously.
I have a feeling that it's not going to be that. And it is now on Labour. They said that they have to go on strike to prove a point. It is now on Labour to
what point are they going to prove?
Maybe continue proving a point or accept what is on the table.
So talking about Labour, they have now replied and they're insisting that the minimum wage they had talked about was 250,000 naira and that they did not have any conversation or agreement with the federal government, contrary to what the president had said. But I thought they said they were waiting for the president.
Yeah, but okay, I get where they're coming from, because it is obvious that it's not as if the president had communicated to them to say, okay, this is the last position that Labour took and we have agreed. But the president's statement makes it sound like, yeah, we're going to send the bill and it will be accepted. Do you see the disparity in that arrangement?
Okay.
It's different if the president is agreeing to what Labour wants. Then Labour will not have a problem. That's why Labour is already putting it out now, because they know that the federal government has not agreed to 250k. As against the president coming out to say he will send the bill as approved or whatever. What the president should have said or meant to say is, after all the meetings and everything, I have gotten the recommendation from my own people, and this is what I am pushing to the assembly as for approval, and everybody will see it when it gets to the assembly. I think that's what he should have said in detail. That way, there would be no need for any rebuttal or pushback by Labour. But now Labour is saying that we didn't agree, which is correct.
Okay, now talking about that same thing, still with the gist, there's now another angle where the Association of Local Government of Nigeria has now said that local government administrations in the country cannot even afford 62,000 naira, talk less of the 250,000 naira the labor unions are demanding.
The local government that we're still fighting to rescue from governor's clutches is the one that you want to pay 62,000 naira minimum wage across board. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. It's extremely laughable that the Nigerian labor really feel that whatever arrangement they've had in the past will still subsist. Let's be real. Over and over again, I'm going to repeat myself because at times it's not the same people who watch you yesterday that are watching today or are listening today. We cannot have a uniform minimum wage in Nigeria. It is not possible in any way. Organized private sector cannot pay the same amount because they are not all the same. You know, there are companies of different scales now. That's one. Two, take a look at the state governments, and there will always be the yardstick for this discussion.
Okay.
When the minimum wage was increased 5 years ago under President Muhammadu Buhari from 18,000 naira to 30,000 naira minimum wage, 15 states did not pay it of 36. 15. And I still wonder why they didn't. And they will tell you that they couldn't afford it. Yeah. Are they now going to suddenly be able to afford 250,000 naira from 18,000? Let's leave the ones that were paying 30 and above as minimum wage. You know, there was an unofficial list. Of course, that list is very unofficial. Saying, oh, River State will pay 80K, Lagos will pay 75. But I don't believe that list because none of those governors, they've not had a Nigerian governors meeting about this. There have been regional meetings. There have been pockets of meetings.
There have actually been a statement.
The Nigerian government say that they'll
forum, yes.
Those figures.
No, not those figures.
I'm talking about the figures.
Oh, okay.
That they've not had a meeting that now came out to say, oh, these are the states that are paying this amount. There's a list that was flying around.
Yeah,
and I'm saying that I don't believe that list. That's what I'm trying to establish. But however, even working with what is on ground, Edo State is already paying 70,000
naira, yeah.
You know, so it's going to be a little bit above that for some. It will be a little bit below or a lot below.
A lot below. The Zamfara State governor literally just put it out there categorically that they can't afford more than 30,000 naira. And it's actually very interesting. Do you understand? Like, and my problem is that labor is looking at it. So if private sector, federal government says they can pay this money. Private sector says they can pay it. Now, local governments have now also come out to say that they can't pay this money. Who exactly, where do you expect this money to be manufactured from?
That's it. So where's the money going to come from? And again, apart from being able to pay or not being able to pay, we keep reiterating one thing and all. And for me, I will repeat it. I think labor is chasing the wrong things. It's good to get increased income. But if you get the other increased income and it still goes the way of your former income, you have not really gained anything. You know, the whole saying, more money, more problem. I think that's what labor is chasing after. It's like chasing shadows, more money, more. I'm not saying that you don't get increased wages. I'm saying that with the power of negotiation that they have, what are the real issues and what are the things that will make life better for the average Nigerian worker? And this would even rub off on every worker now. This way, even non-labor members would support labor. How do we get mass transportation right? How do we get mass transportation right? I've said it twice for emphasis. If a worker that is earning 30,000 naira goes from home to work or whatever order it is, with a small amount of money paid, maybe with a touch card that has a discount on it or something, that it doesn't have to go through the expensive public transport system, then it starts to make savings. If the same person can pay his rent conveniently, because we know that I think the least paid person will probably be on 40-something thousand naira.
Yeah.
And let's assume it's 45,000 naira.
For 30,000 naira minimum wage.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Because nobody will earn 30, it's always higher.
Yeah.
So a person who is on 45,000 naira basic salary, at the end of the year, gets close to 500K as salary. Inflation makes it look like it's small money, but I get that. But if he has that,
all those incentives
without buying or saying anything, how much can he save?
Yeah.
Do you understand? But again, it's the same guy that you now want to come and pay 300,000 naira rent for a one-room apartment. And somebody I don't know if I said it here before. Someone was like, everybody person has 4 wives and 4 children. I said, why do you have 4 children in the first place? in the first place.
That one used to bust my head. Like, you can't afford it. Why in the world? You will not see them. Some of them will have 2 wives, 6 children.
Why you they do them? Again, that's why a lot of people go into service with ulterior motives. Mm-hmm. The salary that they are fighting for, some of them don't want to use it. They have created an avenue for, making some kind of side also. And most of them are illegal.
Illegal. A lot of them are illegal, yeah.
But let's talk about the guy that is not illegal. The guy that's trying to live within his means. So if the guy has a child, which is how he should be, honestly. He has a child and a wife. And he's able to save maybe half of his salary, maybe half. Because transportation does not take all his money. His wife, who is also working, does not have to use her entire money to go and buy food in the market because it is affordable. Why is it affordable? Because the farmers already have subsidy from government, because the farmers do not have to transport their food from the farm to the market at an exorbitant price. Why? Because they are off-takers who are empowered by government to buy good market value and sell without over-marking up. All of these things are very doable by labor. Very, very practical. Mm-hmm. If I was a labor people, I would also go into farming. There's land everywhere. I would also go into farming. Create your own labor farming enclaves and everything and sell food cheap to your people. I'm just saying that you should chase the more practical things, because whatever money you get, there's things waiting to collect it. If your health insurance is very effective, a lot of people are going to private hospitals now that they normally would not be able to afford. Even people working in private sector. Because if they were going to go into that place with their own money, it would cost a lot. But because of health insurance
which
and counterpart funding and all of that.
And that thing is really doing a lot now. Health insurance is really helping.
These are the things that Labour should be fighting for. Ensuring that the credit scheme that the president said is putting in place comes to fruition. Yeah. So that people can actually even pay rent on credit if they can't get reduced rent, buy electronics and other items on credit, and that's the way it should be.
The way it should be.
That's what they should be fighting for.
Anyway, we'll see. Obviously, this conversation has not ended anytime soon, so we'll be seeing where this conversation will continue from. But moving on to something else, and something else is the gist about the Chief of Defense Staff actually made a very bold statement yesterday. And basically, it's about defense, so you won't blame the man. According to him, there was a special broadcast yesterday for Democracy Day about basically that concerned, that had attendance some governors, a few governors, the NSA, service chiefs, and all that. And the Chief of Defense Staff yesterday made a bold statement saying that Simon Ekpa has to be arrested and prosecuted. So this is supposed to be someone that is supposed to be in charge of. Today is the day I actually found out Biafra in exile or something. That's what their organization is called. Mm-hmm. So the Chief of Defense Staff is actually alleging that Finland is shielding Simon Ekpa, because on a normal day, he should have been brought in and prosecuted.
Look, democracy is practiced differently in different countries. To some people in some parts of the world, it is regarded as freedom of speech. But there are limits to freedom of speech, even in the saner climes. The other day, there was talk of someone who had been maybe trolling President Biden being arrested or something. Mm-hmm. In Canada, they're strict on those things now. Do you understand? But we get it. I remember that President Macron of France was pelted by someone the other day. In fact, someone slapped him.
He's had it
twice. I've seen videos of him being physically. You get. So democracy is practiced differently. If you get liver, as in a slap US president.
You won't even get that close.
No, you know he's saying they enter crowd now. The guy goes to the crowd. No, Prince Charles was meeting people the other day on the fence.
It was egged. But that's thing now. Before your hand reached there, it might have been.
That's why I'm saying that it's different from place to place. Like if you really get liver now, Xi Jinping, try him. I'm not even talking about Putin because that's the one you can't come close to. You can't even see him. You even see Vladimir.
Maybe somebody that you see in public.
Now, what has all of this got to do with Simon Ekpa? Yes, this is what I'm saying. That in Finland, they might have some kind of lax law about freedom of speech. But it's fine. If your freedom of speech is within the confines of sensibility and humanity. The agitation for Biafra is valid. People might not like what I've just said, but I believe that it is valid. I believe that if people want self-determination collectively as a group, they should be listened to. But what I'm seeing Simon Ekpa do, I don't think Simon Ekpa wants Biafra. I think Simon Ekpa just thrives in causing conflict.
More like me. Okay, so hold that thought. Today was the day I heard that, or I found out. Don't let me hear. I found out that Simon Ekpa's organization is different from IPOB.
Yes, it is. He's been telling you people don't listen.
So his own is called.
I know.
He's the
Everybody
Prime Minister.
knows.
I didn't know. Of Biafra Republic Government in Exile. I have one question to ask. Who sent him on exile? Is he actually on exile?
Well,
so if
exile
is exile. No. Is Nigerian government, is he on the list of people that have been exiled? If he's not, he should come home.
Now you know that he can't come home after everything is done. I don't even want to dwell on that.
But he's not on exile.
That's not an issue. He is on exile.
By himself.
Self-exile is still exiled. It is. That's the truth. The other guy that went to Ghana and is on exile. It's self-exile. Exile is exile now. You're the one that thinks it's until they chase someone.
No, it's not.
You
it's
can decide
they chase you.
No, you can exile yourself.
No, you cannot exile yourself.
Come on. I'm sure even the English definition of that word would not say that is when government chases you. Someone can go into self-exile. I am very sure. Self-exile must exist.
The state of being barred from one's native country to expel or to bar someone.
Yeah.
Somebody else has to expel you.
Okay, so what is self-exile?
I don't know what self-exile is.
Search for it the way you've just done. You know? So the thing is that I don't know why we're dwelling on exile. It's not important. No, it's actually very mundane. It's not important. You know? But people can go on self-exile.
A voluntary exile. There's actually self-exile.
There is.
One who chooses to leave their country. So it's
established.
A choice. So
Dolupo, choice or not, the man is on exile. And that's not the important thing. What is important is that you're staying in Finland and you're causing chaos in Nigeria. Even their last military action, the one that we lost some soldiers in Abia State, he claimed it. And he was saying that he said it. Go and watch his videos. Sadly, I take time. It's my job. And I saw him, gloating and talking about how they've not seen anything. And everybody is saying that it's IPOB. That is not. So more or less, Nnamdi Kanu being away and Nnamdi Kanu endorsing him is more or less him taking the powers to the level that he feels he can, So last year he did announce his government in exile. He has ministers of this and ministers of that. They have the letter and all of that.
So really, do you actually blame the Chief of Defense Staff for saying what he said?
Have I said anything like that?
No, I'm just asking.
I'm saying that the Finnish people, the people of Finland, have looked at Simon Ekpa and they feel it's not a threat. That's what they are doing. And
it's not a threat to them.
It's not a threat. Them or not. They don't see whatever he's doing in Nigeria as a threat. It's on the Nigerian government to say, this and this and this are the things that this person has done and he's doing. For me, you cannot claim to be fighting for people and you're telling them not to go and earn a living. You cannot claim to be fighting for people. You see, the southeastern part thrives on commerce.
Basically.
Onitsha main market is reputed to be the biggest market in sub-Saharan Africa. It's said to be one of the biggest markets in Africa. And you're telling them to shut it down for an entire day. every week. And there are times when they shut it down for 3 days. One of the things that it does is that, for instance, if Nnamdi Kanu is going to appear in court, 3 days shut down. At times they do a 1 week thing. And look at how much is being lost. And you see, when that commerce is not available in Onitsha, people will go elsewhere. Because the world will not wait for you.
People would education going elsewhere now.
Education, health. You know, so in all of this, do not grind your people's economy to the ground in the name of perpetuating yourself in power, because I think that's what Simon Ekpa is doing. In my opinion,
the one that even amuses me the most is that when you finally, let's even assume you are being given this Biafra, which what consists of Biafra, that one too is another thing, because there are some people that say that they are not part of their map, they are part of their map. That's another conversation. But the thing also for me is that when or if you ever get this Biafra, what will be left if there is a lot of violence, there is a lot of you literally kill the economy, the health sector, the educational sector, the security of the town or the towns or states. What will now be left to fall back on?
Okay, what you have just done is more or less like a conjecture. It's just you looking at what could go wrong.
Yeah, if.
So I want to look at what could go right so that we're balancing it. What if Biafra is created and it starts to thrive?
There's a lot of damage that's already been done. It's pure economics.
Dolupo, whatever damage is done can be repaired in this world, especially when people agree to make it work.
Okay.
What if the entire people of the Southeast agree and say, you know what, we're going to come together. We're all going to go back home and rebuild Biafra from scratch. We're going to build the best country in the world. And in a few years' time, maybe 5 years or 2 years or 10 years or 20 years, no matter how long it takes, we will pool our resources together and build the best country. In sports, we'll have the best teams. In education, our students will be the best.
Okay.
We'll focus on health. Please, Dolupo, I like also have an open mind.
Yeah, that's what
it doesn't take away anything from your opinion. But I'm just saying that, again, it is not right for us to just sit down and see that it's only negative. What if it's the best thing that could happen to the people of Biafra and Nigeria?
Okay.
What if?
Okay, we'll see.
What if?
We'll see.
No, we can't always look at the bad, negative. Oh,
that's why I said
they've destroyed this, they've destroyed that.
We'll see.
Look, Japan went through a war. It's one of the best countries in the world.
Okay.
America even dropped an atomic bomb there or two. And look at where they are now. They're one of the best countries in the world. So we can't always sit back and say, oh yeah, they will suffer. No, what if they don't?
I didn't say.
What if they're able to rebuild? You said a lot of damage has been done. And I'm saying that what if it's reversible?
Okay, we'll see.
Look, you don't even know what the land holds. Some part of Biafra has gas. Some part of Biafra has crude oil. What if they even stumble on other what's this thing called again? Mineral resources.
Okay.
That could be unique to that union, and it starts to thrive even beyond anybody's dreams. You know, so their call for self-actualization is valid, but the way they are going about it, because it's not in the constitution, does not mean that they can't find a way, you know, to go about it legally. Like, for instance, let everybody, I know we can't have 100%. During Brexit, people voted for and against in the UK. So, in Biafra, they should look for a way to coordinate, especially their elite, the Igbo elite. They must come together, have a conference, and look for ways to actualize this call for self-governance.
Okay, we'll see where all this Biafra matter will end. But before that, we're going all the way to NELFUND. And for people that do not know what that is, this is the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, basically the student loan scheme. And they have now announced that they're going to publish a full list of institutions that have submitted their complete student data by June 24th. I said that, so they're saying that schools are supposed to send their list and details of students. This will be a student verification system, meaning that when you apply, still on the website, they're saying on the portal, you are now going to verify your status through the information that your school, or if your school submits your information, you'll be able to verify if you are eligible for the loan and how far you are eligible for the loan.
I personally am in love with this concept of a student loan in Nigeria, and again, learning from what has happened in other countries, that it's not taking that route. You get, it's taking its own shape. These are the things that labor should be concerned about. If a parent can actually use government money to send his or her child to school, and the child becomes successful to the point where he or she can pay back the loan, that's a major load off a lot of parents.
Oh yeah, you don't have that stress.
That's a major load off. Those are the things that they should be more. They need to key into it and even take credit for being a part of it. Like, we believe in this.
Exactly.
But I think they are busy playing politics, and they should draw a line. They should be concerned about the things that can impact more on people's lives positively. So picture a government worker, even at the local government or state level, or even at the private sector, whose child is able to activate, this loan. And for the next 4 years, this child just goes through school.
Yeah.
Now, remember that with this kind of loan now, the IGR of the schools will increase. So the matter of strike will definitely reduce, if not be eradicated.
Because I think the whole point is that schools will be able to fund themselves
exactly
better now. So according
a 4-year course will be a 4-year course.
According to the NELFUND now, their media part, they're saying officially that most federal institutions have already completed the exercise, and that the process of uploading is why they're moving into June. Why it is June 24 is because they're trying to upload for state-owned universities as well. So what they're saying now is, remember the conversation that state universities will soon be on it. So it looks like state universities are also going to be on those, or students of state universities are also going to be able to access this as soon as possible. So they're saying that that verification system is going to be live by June 24th.
Fingers crossed this works.
Yeah, I'm actually
Nigerian students
I'm
deserve,
really looking forward to it. I am really looking forward.
They've been through a lot through the decades, a lot, and fingers crossed.
Now just wanted to moving on from that conversation quickly. Just wanted to put it out there, as the governor of Lagos State has said that Lagos by 2030 they are set to replace 50% of public vehicles with electric vehicles.
It's a bold statement and a bold plan, and a lot of naysayers would always look at every statement like this with the negative than looking at the possibilities of it. You would know now that it's about a year, if not more, that Lagos State launched its electric vehicles in the BRT lane. The BRT buses, they have these BRT buses that
they do.
And I remember when they said they were going to start that thing, there were a lot of people tweeting about it and saying, you just find a bus that's broken down on 3rd Mainland one day, or the bus will clog up the lane and everything. Guess what? Not a single one of those vehicles has broken down.
Yeah.
So they've already started the test run for them to say what they're saying. 2, when they started the Blue Line is a new metro system by Lagos State government that phase 1 has been completed. from the CMS Marina access to Mile 2. And it's still going to extend towards the border, towards BRGIE. I think they've already started construction of the second phase. It is driven by electricity. It's powered by electricity. Before they started it, there was a lot, they can't do it. In fact, because of the pressure, Lagos State started using diesel-powered train
I think they
heads
used that for like the first...
for a couple of weeks, to start operations. And there were snide remarks about it. But guess what? Since they started full operations with electricity, no issues. We've not heard one day that one train did not roll. So, of course, that thing has its own dedicated power plant. Now, take it further back. I've given you 2 examples of what Lagos has done with electronic powered transportation. Take it further back to the IPPs that were built by Lagos State under Fashola. They had to take themselves off the grid. Lagos Island, majorly, all the hospitals and police stations and the street lights there. They're on an IPP. The state secretariat is on the same. It's on a different IPP. It's the same concept you get. So, and they also have their own electronic company. They've had it before the laws were even deregulated. That sector was deregulated. So if they're saying it, I'm sure that they must have a rollout plan. I just don't know who's going to pay for it and how they're going to pay for it. That's the only pushback that I have about it. But it's a beautiful thing because, one, it will reduce the cost of us needing to buy diesel and petrol and all the fossil fuels, even gas, if possible. And how does that all go for the people in that sector? But who cares about them if we can actually, get electronic vehicles, running.
There's still going to be a lot of things that
Lagos.
you're going to use a lot of fossil fuels for. At least they're not going to be easily phased out like that. But anyway, just wanted to put that out there. And now we're moving on to another very interesting topic, is where the Supreme Court has now reserved judgment in the suit that the federal government has against 36 governors over local government autonomy. Both parties have now aired their grievances and all that, and now the judge has now said that they would inform both parties when it's time for judgment. We know that Supreme Court, you don't talk too much.
The final word.
You don't talk too much. Once they say what they say, we move on from that. So we would see where that is going. And remember that there are a lot of governors that have come out to. It's obvious that governors are not very pleased with the issue of local government autonomy. I don't understand it, but what do I know? We'll see where that will go to. Now, moving on from that, still talking about court. Former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, still did not appear in court today again. How are you coughing?
My throat is...
no, it's not.
itching me.
It didn't appear in court again. They have moved it to June 27th. I will still keep saying, why is he running?
But according to some reports that I read, it is said that the prosecution had said that they were going to go today to seek a postponement and an adjournment.
And so why didn't he still come to court?
They, according to his lawyers, that's all they were expecting today. There was no need for him to appear, since prosecution is saying that they were going to. His lawyers are saying that they were shocked that when they got there, the senior counsels and all of that were still there. They were supposed to just send some junior counsels to say, you know what, my lord, Bishop, because of this, we've agreed with something outside the court for some kind of adjournment. So, Yahaya Bello is more or less saying, I'm gonna come out, but I'm gonna come out later.
You don't need me right
on my
now.
own terms and all of that.
Okay.
But if they cannot track him and he's in Nigeria, shame on Nigerian security people. Yes.
He might not be in Nigeria.
That guy, yeah. I said 2 ifs. So, if they cannot track him and if he's in Nigeria, those were the 2 ifs. And if he's not in Nigeria, the third one is how did he leave?
How? Okay. Still talking about courts. Interestingly, sorry, I'm really trying hard to read. Okay. The witness. There's a case that we have talked about here about former power minister Oluwagunloye. I think he was minister when it was the Obasanjo administration. Now he's been in court back and forth for about a $6 billion Mambila fraud, and now a witness has now gone to court to say that he received, on behalf of the minister, he had received a 5.2 million naira in like bribe or something.
You know, it's shocking how ministers then, and I don't know if it's still happening now, have access to large chunks of money
Funds.
like that. They have access to funds, 6 billion and billion. Even in America, they're not fit.
No. They're not saying that I took the 06 billion. But that's the.
That is what?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, now, Madam Lawyer, explain.
I'm just saying.
You're just saying what? Look, Sha, the case is in court. Meanwhile, before Dolupo moves to the next one, I just saw online that if you're a very good or big fan of Very Dark Black Man, it's just been released a few minutes ago.
Oh, I thought it was released a few days ago.
No, it's just been released a few minutes ago. He's been locked up. You know, there's been this gist about how, you know, he did a lot to ensure that Bobrisky was sent to prison. So people are saying that Bobrisky was going to come out before him, but now he's come out before Bobrisky. So it's still, I think it's 2-1 now. You know, so no. I just said to let you know, if you're a fan of Very Dark Black Man,
so at least he is out on bail. Bobrisky ain't coming out. He ain't coming out until, but I'm sure Bobrisky will have done like 2-3 months already.
Yeah, but Shebi is pushing to have the thing.
When are they going
reduced.
to? Which pushing? When the thing would have been, by the time you'll have served this whole sentence, they are not even serious. His lawyers are not serious. I'm sorry, but Uncle, go and procure other lawyers. So we'll see where all that stuff is going to. But what I talk about a little bit about Lagos State, and a few other states as well. And what I want to talk about are people need to be careful at the moment. There is a cholera outbreak in a few states. There are about 30 deaths and about 1,141 cases in 96 local governments across the country. Out of those 30 deaths, I think there are 5 of them in Lagos. There are quite a number of about 60 people have been infected in Lagos already. So for Lagosians, people need to be careful. Please, at this point, be careful the kind of food you eat. Eating out, I'm not saying eating out is bad, but you need to be careful the kind of food you eat. Look at it, at times, when you see the environment where food is made, you can almost determine what the issue is. Also, people also realize that this time is not the time to, you think I'm feeling I'm running stool and then you're just chilling at home. Please, people die from these things, although it is very treatable. When it is not treated well, and most of the time, why it's not treated quickly is because a lot of people often get dehydrated. I think cholera is the one that comes with vomiting and stooling at the same time and all that.
Yeah, another thing,
once you start feeling funny like that, please go to hospital.
Another thing that we can't gloss over is the high cost of buying, you know, the items you need to make food, you know, especially, you know, peppers and all of that.
I get it, but you know, when you really think about it,
I'm just trying to make a point about something here, and people tend to look for alternatives. People tend to look for other ways to substitute something for something and do this for that and all of that. So again, government needs to do this. One is on government. I know we always call government for a lot of things that we shouldn't, but this particular one is on them. There's a minister for agriculture. He needs to look into how, you know, there's a lot of people that have been saying it, that the items that have been transported right from the north to the south, tomatoes and all of that, actually not that expensive up north as that.
Oh,
now
I saw a video of someone that
they're not that
posted,
expensive.
of the videos of in I think Orange Market in Nasarawa.
Yeah.
About an 80,000 naira ram. That ram looking like a small cow.
That's what
Beautiful.
I'm saying.
And the person is like, if this thing gets to Lagos,
800,000.
you will sell it for nothing less than 350, 400,000 naira.
That's what I'm saying.
And you wonder, like, is the transport really that much?
That's what I am saying. So there's something wrong somewhere. There's something wrong somewhere. You know, and if government does not step into it, because again, we know that trade is about people buying and selling. But there are times where you have to, if you don't, the pressure is going to bounce back on you.
It's going to get a lot.
And so people getting cholera and everything, it could get worse. People would look for food in also, you're saying environment and if Dolupo, some people would not, the bottom line is hunger. It's hunger.
Yeah. Well, please, let's be careful.
Be careful, oh.
The kind of water that we drink. Even us at home, it's time to actually check out your environment while you cook and all that. It's really, really very, very important.
Have
now,
you not noticed that all sanitized, they're gone? You can't even buy now.
You hardly see them anymore. They don't even stock them anymore. Now, moving on from that, let's just go through a bit of sports before we leave. We have about 8 minutes left that we can do a bit of sports. Now, first things that I want to talk about is AFCON. AFCON is back again. AFCON 2025. The qualifiers draw are set to hold in Johannesburg. That's South Africa, July 4th. So, Super Eagles again will know where they are again, where they stand again, and a lot more other people will know where they stand by July 4th on that matter. Just want to put it out there. Also, Super Eagles striker Ademola Lookman won the Atalanta's Player of the Month award. So that is definitely he definitely deserves it. How also in the MPFL, Ikorodu City, Beyond Limits, Nasarawa United, and El-Kanemi Warriors have also gained promotion into the MPFL.
Yeah, I'll definitely have something to say about that. Big shout out to Ikorodu City. I'm happy for them. Team started barely 2 years ago. And of course, the owners already had experience running another club with a different name, but also from Ikorodu. And now they've really done themselves proud. They went to Enugu and they won the ticket there. Alongside Beyond Limits. Beyond Limits also belongs to someone who has invested heavily in sports. He actually has another football club that is also in the top flight. And now he has two. And someone who's really discovering a lot of talent and doing stuff. So a big shout out to them.
Maybe it's time that, you know what this reminds me of? Like, you see a lot, like Ikorodu FC, there are quite a number of private football clubs that are not doing badly in Lagos State. Do you understand?
It's not doing badly, Sha, but maybe when it comes to organization, like the Lagos State team that is playing now in the MPFL, they're on the verge of relegation. Like, they must win now. And I think they lost their first home game a few days ago, and their fans went.
Lagos, they
went berserk.
Yes, and as sad as it looks, I don't know how to say this, but I'm like, okay, we actually now are having fans that are actually very not saying that is right to be violent. Not saying that. I'm just saying that we're getting to a point where people are actually passionate about our local teams. I saw pictures where someone had compiled a few pictures of different stadiums or people coming to watch games in different states. Yeah, and I'm really proud. I'm like, okay,
the cathedral.
We're getting to
nicknamed the cathedral in Enugu where Rangers play. That's where that issue with massive crowd.
I saw pictures
3SC
in Ibadan. Yeah, I saw
Kano pillars always packed.
In Kano as well. I'm like,
Sporting Lagos, they're doing amazing.
This is really,
with
really
their
good.
fan mobilization.
So maybe it's time some of these states need to actually give up some of these clubs.
Yes, even if they don't give it up, until corporate Nigeria and individuals actually who have passion for the game actually get involved, you know.
Yeah, run it like a business.
Yeah, you can actually phase out the government-owned clubs. Now, a lot of these governors will not let go. Look, for instance, there's a big club in the southwest that is doing okay now. They're doing very well. The accolades goes to the governor. So there's no way.
So it's part of the campaign.
Are you playing? Are you playing?
Anyway, we'll see where that will go. Let's go a bit to Europe, where it looks like, as you know, the transfer window is open. It's more about the coaches than the players at this point.
Yeah, it's
Juventus
the foundation.
Has a new coach. Also, AC Milan also has a new coach.
Yeah, and they're not the only ones moving. A whole lot of coaches are moving, and I think that is important before you can start buying players, because you don't know the type of players that the coaches might want.
Very true.
And so they need to put that in place.
Out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah, staying with AC Milan. I know that they're still going for Zexi, and who actually he was on holidays when he was invited to join, the national team now. So he's on. He should be in Germany by now, or on his way to Germany. A couple of clubs have been busy buying players here and there.
Oh, Chelsea has been busy. Chelsea's been busy.
They're going after Olise, or Olise, as the case is. It's not a done deal, but they said that they are going to make an offer officially and all of that. And of course, that guy deserves to play for a top 6 team.
Oh yeah, they definitely do. Now, moving a bit to the Olympics, transgender swimmer Leah Thomas has officially been banned from the Olympics. There's been a lot of talk, especially from women sports. There's been a lot of hue and cry about men becoming transgender, moving to women's sports, and then suddenly becoming big. There are talks of athletics where you will see men that did not do really well as athletes, male athletes, and then they get to the female part of the thing, and then they're dusting everybody, swimming. This is one of it. I was reading it. This particular person, when he was a man, was about 432nd in the world, and then suddenly becomes transgender and then becomes number 1. It's
unfair on all levels, and if the transgender thing was a biological thing or a scientific thing, it's fine. Do you understand? And it's especially in sports. I think it's not fair.
And sadly, it's always the women. Most of the time, it's the women that are on the receiving
end.
Look
at it this way. How many women will cross from when they say, now they are a trans man? If a woman says she's a trans man and she wants to go and fight in the heavyweight division, she wants to fight Anthony Joshua. She wants to fight.
No, but where do you want to see the body weight?
Tyson Fury.
Where do you get the body weight?
Oh, there might even be some women who qualify as heavyweight.
Okay.
But you want to fight them. Ow! Where are you going to start from? But a trans man who is now transited to a woman, he's already a boxer and everything. And he now goes into that category and says he wants to fight a welterweight or a light heavy or paperweight woman. Come on, it's unfair.
It's unfair. I think it's unfair as well.
If you're trying to actualize yourself or your beliefs, why should you deprive other people in the process?
Exactly. Maybe it's time they create that category.
And I know that
it might not be a bad idea.
Sadly, we're streaming this on a woke platform, and some of the things we say might not even go down well with them, because
I'm even of the opinion
the way the world
maybe you need to open up another category: men, women, transgender.
Yes, let them do that. Let them do that. Then it will be fun.
Then everybody is on a level playing field. You know that everybody in that.
Do you know how they are trying to create a lot of? They're trying to create a lot of. I think we have a comment. They're trying to create a lot of.
Okay.
New sports.
Leadership Image says, "Eku idibale."
Idobale for Nigeria.
Oh, okay. Eku idobale. Okay, that's not how to spell idobale though. Okay, now he has spelled it properly. Nigeria. Okay.
Idobale and Lani is a flat.
It's a presidential.
It's a full idobale.
Very cool one.
Oh, serious.
Yeah, you wanted to say something quickly.
Yeah, I saw a video of a man and 2 women fighting boxing. Like 2 women versus 1 man.
I saw that video.
And I'm like, this is a new sport. A lot of people, you see the other one there, they are slapping. There's this slapping competition now. And
I hope people don't have like brain damages and all that for those things. I think it's a very dangerous sport.
It is.
Anyway, we'll see.
So if you have a trans slapping competition.
Good luck.
No, I think women will even win that one.
Professional football unions of England and France have dragged FIFA to court over their Club World Cup timetable, saying that they unanimously independently came up with the timetable without consulting anybody. Also, VAR decisions are set to now be explained to fans at Euro 2024. Pastor says boxing is a good sport. Oh yeah,
I'm a big fan of that. Yes. And it's safe too.
And yes, that's it. Basically, so talking about managers, Borussia Dortmund had also
Terzic
decided to.
Why? It's shocking for me. I didn't see that coming. I hope he gets a better job though.
We'll see.
Because he did well for them in the DFB Pokal, and look at how far he went at the Champions League.
Now, finally, former basketball star and basically the picture that was used for the NBA logo, Jerry West, has now died at the age of 86.
What a fulfilled life, 86, man.
Definitely.
May
So on that
rest in
note,
perfect peace.
that's all we have to take today on The Bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of The BoomBar. Do have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead.